I'm going to start deep because I don't want to
Okay,
beat
okay.
around the bush. So I want to ask, how did we get to the Louis Tomlinson I see in this chair right now?
Wow, that is heavy. I think since I've been a solo artist in particular, I've had to do a bit of learning on the job. I was treading water for a little bit, I think, in the industry while I was trying to work out who it was I was as an artist. And that took me a second to work out. And it must have been like maybe about 6 months ago, I wrote a bulk of songs with a guy called Jamie Hartman. And once I had those songs and I'd listened to them, everything made a bit more sense to me about who I wanted to be and what it was I wanted to achieve. And I think I'm comfortable in the place that I am right now. And I don't think, when I was a little bit younger or when I'd just come out of the band, I think I was so conscious of chasing radio and trying to get a #1 record. And in the end, I realised I'd just be better off following my heart.
What kind of headspace were you in post One Direction? And what had to happen in this little period of time for you to find yourself personally and sonically?
Well, I found it hard when One Direction, when we went on the break, to be honest, because I wasn't ready for it and I was enjoying my time in the band. But, that's life sometimes. So, and I think the hardest thing for me, as I said before, was trying to find my sound. And, I did 2 great collaborations, one with Steve Aoki and one with BB Rexa. But when I look back now in hindsight, I think that was more for radio or for someone else, that actually I wasn't doing exactly what I loved. So in terms of what I needed to do to be here now, I almost needed to go through that experience to know that that's not really where I want to be. And that's no disrespect to those songs, because I have a massive love for those songs. But sonically, it was never really something I could relate to sonically.
How do you define yourself as an artist right now?
I think as a lyricist, I'm honest. I try and keep it real and be as honest as possible. And sometimes, that might be a bit blunt, but I like to keep it real. And musically, I want the tracks to sound organic and live, really, more than anything.
Was it difficult to separate the artist you were with One Direction with the artist that you wanted to become solo? Do you see this as 2 different people? Are you the same person?
Oh, I'm definitely the same person. I think One Direction, in terms of musically, it was just a lot more straightforward, So I've said before, when we wrote songs for the band, you had to write songs with concepts that fit 4 or 5 guys, so naturally they would be a little bit more vague, And then I've gone out on my own and I feel that because it's all more personal and I'm being super real and super honest, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so, these things take time.
Do you see this as a continuation from those days, or do you see this right now as a completely new chapter in your life?
It's a bit of both, really. It's definitely a continuation. I got incredible experience in the band, and definitely taught me a lot, and it's obviously where I started songwriting and stuff like that. But, to a certain degree, it does feel like a bit of a new chapter. I've kind of been brave and bold and said, this is who I want to be. So probably just a blur of the two.
And you mentioned in a previous interview that the puzzle piece for you was how to please yourself, the fans, and the label. Were you able to find that balance, or are you still trying to figure that out?
I think I have found that balance, and I think, ironically, it came with me following my heart. I think that feeling of how much I enjoy it is infectious, not just to the fans, but the record labels see it too, So when I'm doing what I love, I think it's quite evident.
And I want to start delving specifically into the tracks that we've heard so far. So 2 of us, that's the most vulnerable we've heard you up to this point. So what was it like recording those vocals in the booth? Do you remember that night?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, I'm wanting to portray a certain emotion as well. I want this song to, do itself justice. But part of making that song and recording it was quite professional, actually. I was in quite a professional headspace, and I hadn't really thought about, the weight of the song until I did my first performance of it. And I did my first performance to about 100 fans in London, something we did for online. And it really hit me in that moment. I hadn't really thought about everything, the weight of the song, as I said before.
I was just going to ask, are you nervous because you're going on tour soon? So does it make you nervous to have to be performing the song every night, given how personal it is?
Yes and no. Again, I feel like because I've done a few performances of it now. I did it recently at a show I did in Madrid. And a few people, a few fans have come up to me and told me how much that song's helped them, and that gives me power and strength when I'm singing it, you know what I mean? It makes me feel good, so kind of the opposite now, it kind of like energizes me.
And now every fan has their own personal meaning of like
Exactly,
what that song is to them, so. I do want to move on to the more rebellious track, Kill My Mind. What was the inspiration behind this track?
I wanted to write something, you know, especially off the back of two of us, which, you know, was emotionally heavy. I wanted to write something that felt like nostalgic and fun and a little bit reckless. And like, it's kind of just reflecting on those years of your life when you're fearless, when you're young and you'll literally, you know, you'll do anything if it's fun, within reason, you know what I mean?
For sure. And does the song Kill My Mind kind of have a connection to We Made It? Because I know those music videos are connected, so song-wise, are they somehow related?
They're not actually. Different writers, different producers. We Made It about 2 years ago. I wrote Kill My Mind about 6 months ago. They just fit nicely with each other. And, you know, when we set out with the first video, the idea was to have a narrative that goes across 3 or 4 videos. So the story's kind of going to flesh out as each single comes out. Kill
My Mind was written 6 months ago, right? And We Made It was written roughly 2 years ago. Yeah. It's ironic that Kill My Mind then came out first, given how much more recently it was written.
Because I was so excited to release it. That's Kill My Mind as a song. It's probably for like different reasons, but it's the song I'm most proud of. I listened to it, and it's definitely something in line with what I'd listened to in my own time, and it feels really good to perform live. It's got the energy. So.
And do you get nervous releasing all these tracks, or this one you're particularly ready for because you're so happy about it?
I think I got to a stage now where I feel like I've been doing this album so long. And, you know, the same with the album, not just the singles. I feel like I've gone past that stage of, like, fear and hoping everyone really loves it. Because I've been waiting for ages to release it now, so I'm just excited to be able to get it out more than anything.
So, given the tracks we've heard so far, what's to be expected from the debut album? What is left that we have not heard yet?
Well, like all albums, you know what I mean? There's light and shade across it. I think, as I said before, you know, the most important thing for me is that I'm honest and like reflective in my lyrics and relatable. And there's definitely some like pretty deep moments lyrically, I think, across the album. But yeah, again, I've always tried to be as honest as I can.
And other than it being a track on the album, why did you choose to name your debut album Walls?
I'd love to give you a great answer for this, but the reality is it's one of my favourite songs on the album. There's a song called Walls on the album. And I just thought it was quite a thought-provoking, cool-sounding title. And that's it, really.
Do we have like a number of tracks or anything else that we could?
There's 12 tracks on album. I think that's right, is it? Yeah, I'm getting the thumbs up. Yeah, 12 tracks on the album. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
Great, I'm excited to hear it.
Thank you.
Switching over a little bit to performing, you did headline a festival in Madrid. You're going on a headlining world tour in 2020. So have you started planning this tour yet?
No, not yet. I don't know when. I think we'll probably, get through promo in this single and probably next one and then have a look at it. But it's something, it's probably the thing I've been the most excited about doing, really. Because, again, I was used to being in the band and doing however many, literally 200 tour dates a year. And also as a writer, as a songwriter, it's the first time you get to see your songs come to life, you know what I mean, and what they mean to people, and. So it's something I've been looking forward to for a long time.
How do you think that your album translates into the live setting now?
Well, I'd say definitely the second half of the album was written with that in mind, thinking how is this going to translate to a live show? Hence songs like Kill My Mind, which, seamlessly works live. It's always my intention is to create a fun and exciting show, so hopefully it'll be that.
Are you excited to get back on the road? And how do you think the process will be different this time?
It will be different. It will be different. I don't really know what to expect because I ain't done it yet, obviously. But I'm really, really excited about it. I mean, I like the tour lifestyle. Obviously, you miss everyone at home, but the tour lifestyle's pretty fun.
Are One Direction covers out of the question, or we don't know yet?
Definitely. I'll definitely do 1 or 2 One Direction songs, definitely. I normally do Little Black Dress. I don't know what else I'll be doing yet, but I think it's important, definitely. They miss it, so you got to give them a bit.
A few years ago, you felt that if your records didn't go #1, then you failed. How would you define success for yourself right now?
I think success is, personally, is when I get to my first tour show and that feeling I get after. And if I feel like everyone who I looked at had a good time, and I've done all right.
If you could pan out your future any way you'd want, how would you ideally want your career to happen? Do you have any ultimate goals?
I just want to keep making music, really. I mean, look, I'd love to play festivals. I think that's, it's going to be a process to get there. But yeah, I just want to keep making music, keep doing what I'm doing. When I'm about 50 or 60, I'm going to go and be a football manager, or soccer as you guys call it, but a football manager. Decided, little Sunday league team, make them champions, you know what I mean?